Upon what the defense has filed here, what they are saying Abby and Libby appeared to look like. Now they have Libby lying flat on her back, left arm stretched above her head, touching the base of the large tree. Now what you're looking at, this depiction, is what we put together based upon this memorandum. This actual image that you're looking at right now is not something that is part of any filing by anyone. We here at Closing Arguments, based upon this description, have put this together.
What is up, mob crew? I'm Chris and welcome. In this video we are going to go over some of the more shocking revelations released in the Frank's motion, and more importantly some of the details that you may have missed, like the claims of Richard Allen being in the National Guard. We will be covering that information and the latest details in this case in today's video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Richard Allen was in the National Guard. Since the Frank's motion was released, there have been many new details never heard before. But there's one detail that was provided that many may have missed, probably due to the fact that it's in the fine print in the motion. It mentions an interview done with Richard Allen's wife, Kathy, where it talks about how Richard Allen usually kept his hair short and has always shaved his head since he was in the National Guard. I believe this little nugget of information is huge, considering I doubt Kathy would lie about such a thing, and if true, that would mean Allen would have taken the 10-week basic training course where he would have learned how to use guns, knives, close quarter combat, and much more. It certainly begs the question, how long was Richard Allen in the National Guard and what did he do? Considering a knife and gun were involved in the double homicides, I think this information is huge when it comes to Allen's past. What is he capable of, and how did it apply to this terrible tragedy? The F tree. We also learned about a tree with an F painted on, according to the defense, which supposedly resembled the rune symbol Ansus, which looks like this. But when Court TV had Barbara McDonald on, they released a graphic, and it didn't look anything like what many were picturing in their head. This graphic depicted something close to an F, but certainly not painted on, nor did it look like the rune symbol Ansus. Clearly this graphic was not a one-to-one creation of what the actual F may look like, as it clearly was made by a program like Adobe, with many assets used more than once, meaning this is not an exact depiction. But if McDonald's sources are solid, which they usually are, would mean at the very least this F was not painted on, but more than likely came from cast off from either the victim's blood on a weapon, a hand, or something else. From the motion, it sounds like this could be where Libby was attacked, standing near this F tree. We talk about this and more in a live with a retired forensic detective, Steve. If you'd like to watch that, the link to that show is in the top right hand corner and also down in the description of this video. How the two sketches were made. Probably one of the most widely topics discussed in the Delphi case was the two sketches and how they were made. So many took to social media to share their theories on what they thought. Even though Carter said at one point they were the same person, but with the sketches having many differences, there was a lot of confusion and speculation. The Frank's motion finally answered this long overdue answer as to how they came about. So the sketch that was first released to the public was made by the same witness who was driving down the county road and saw a man muddy and bloody with blue jeans and a blue jacket. This witness would be responsible for the first sketch released. Although it's been said that this was a combination of the witness's statements and the video, which is why this sketch looked more like the person in the video. The second sketch came from a witness that arrived just before Abby and Libby and approached the bridge first, where she encountered a man standing on the first platform. This witness did describe the man as wearing blue jeans and a blue jacket, which lined up with many other witnesses, but the facial description of the man would be much different, claiming she saw a man with brown poofy hair, a youthful look, no facial hair, a younger man close to his 20s or 30s. This sketch would even be produced first, but because it looked nothing like what was portrayed in the video, they decided to hold back on her sketch until 2 years later. It does beg the question about who and what she saw. Was it another man? Or was there a bigger distance between her and Richard Allen, and could she have been mistaking some of the details? It's certainly a question that has to be raised. The crime scene. One of the more shocking details to come out is the bizarre nature of the crime scene in which the girls were found. We actually did a recreation of the crime scene and broke down some of the different theories, and you can check out that video in the link at the top right hand corner, and is also down in the description of this video. Barbara McDonald and Court TV were able to show some recreations of what the crime scene looked like. But according to what's in the motion and what was depicted in the graphics, there are some slight differences. In the motion, it describes the fourth branch, the horizontal one, as covering part of Libby's neck. Also, the long branch placed vertical and at an angle in the Court TV's graphic is not exactly what was described in the motion. It only says that it was placed on her left shoulder and extends past her head and past her legs, but does not mention being laid at an angle. Although these details are tiny differences, if one was thinking these were placed to make some kind of symbol or something alike, this detail could be a much bigger thing. Cameras in the courtroom. Now to the latest news on Delphi. The defense recently filed a motion explaining how they are wanting cameras to be allowed in the courtroom for the pre-trial and trial. For those that may not know, this county is known for not allowing cameras in the courtroom, but many are hoping this will change with the Richard Allen trial. The prosecution has since filed their stance on the motion, and it seems they're more or less against allowing cameras in the courtroom, believing this would jeopardize the integrity of the case, including raising concerns about witnesses and the juries. Although they bring up some valid points, I believe we have seen that in the past, allowing cameras can be a good thing, and if done right, allows the public to view how the judicial system works. We should learn about the judge's ruling about this motion within a month or so, considering that the trial is set at the beginning of January. Of course, when the trial starts, you can count on Steve and I to do more experiments and recreations when more details emerge. As always, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, as we upload multiple times a week. Please consider supporting this channel by becoming a member or supporting me on my Patreon page. And thank you so much for watching.